Welcome back, everyone. So I'm working on a magnetic bookmark, and so I'm going to take you through a process. So I'm taking a roll of tape and I'm making circles. So that's where I'm starting. And some people have asked me to show the pencil. That's why I'm showing the pencil. And so I want to join these two circles together. This is the first time I'm making this, so I'm guesstimating what I'll want. So my plan is to draw my design, and I'll cut it out on a Cricut, which is a paper cutting tool, or it cuts stickers, all kinds of things like that. So I'll do my design, I'll print it out in color, and then I will cut that out on my Cricut, and then I'll apply magnets to both sides, and it operates as a bookmark. So the bookmark folds in the middle, and it clamps the pages of your book. Now, this may not be the finished size, but I thought this would be a reasonable size to draw, which is my first concern, is simply drawing it. And I'll get out my circles so that I have tools to help myself. And I want to pull out a generic pen. Okay, so I'm going to just pull out a black pen. As you see, this is a 0.05. And these are Le Pens. You can use any brand. Brand doesn't matter in this instance, as long as it gets the job done. So I'm looking for the closest circle that I have on my templates to what I need. And I probably don't have the actual circle. That one's a little too big, that one's a little too small. So I'm going to go with this one, and I'm trying for a clean circle, and so I'm going to mark this as the one I'm using. So clearly my tape measure wasn't an accurate circle, so this will be more accurate and fairly simple to use. And I'm old school, so I use old tools. So I did lots of drafting when I was younger. So I own templates. And I actually recommend artists who are working with real pen and ink, or pencils or markers, or really any kind of that drawing, to have templates to help them as they go along. So at the moment, I'm not going to draw the center part in ink yet. I have to think about it through. So the Cricut machine, I'm just learning. It's brand new to me. Uses guides, and they have to see what they're cutting around. And I haven't learned that really well yet. So I'm thinking I may need to draw the connector, the bridge, at least in my starting one. So with anything, when I'm learning it, any kind of program on the computer, there is clearly a learning curve and experimentation that needs to happen. is that I need to understand the tool and how I interact with that tool. I don't do any kind of AI augmented stuff, but I still end up using computer tools to handle my ink, my pen and ink drawing. So I do the artwork, and then I have to move the artwork from this paper into some other form that I can reproduce. All right, so we did this one, we did that one. Okay, so I'm going to mark that one. And I'm going to draw a second line, although this is pretty bad. And really what I'm doing is I'm making a very thick border. And it might be too big for what I really want. Like I said, this is experimentation. So my first step, let me get a thicker pen here. Let me take a thicker pen and ink that in. So this is going to be my rough draft, basically, of this design. And I think in my mind, I haven't tested this out yet, but I think that if I were to reduce this by 25–30%, my magnet would still fit, and it might be a more usable size for the reader who's using it, the bookmark, in their current novel reading. And I like the idea of a magnetic bookmark. I think it's tricky. And I decided on the circle. Well, the magnet is a circular, so that was a natural association. But I could really have used any design, and I'm likely, as I move along and get to understand all the steps in this process better, I'm likely to do other designs that are not circular. But I'm working on things to take to a book fest event in early October. So I'm trying to put together more than one thing for the table. Since I don't have a lot of books published that I can lay on the table at this point, I am trying to put together a chapbook that I will have there, and hopefully my coloring book will be there. And so I want other related products. My main interest is learning about vending at a table, which is pretty alien to my personality. But I'm interested in doing that as a reasonable progression of new publishing marketing. Because I have other books that are getting ready to publish, and the advertising and marketing opportunities are not fabulous at this point. Okay, so for the purposes of this test one, I'm going to clean that up just a little bit because it bugs my OCD. I'm just going to drop a little bit of white out on it. All right, not fabulous, but okay. And I think I am going to draw the bridge between these two, so I'll find something that'll work. That looks like it'll connect. And I kind of want the transition to be easy for the cricket, rather than straight lines or something. If it was just straight lines, I could cut it with a cutter, but I'm trying for a little bit better than that. Okay, so now I have given these parts enough of a presence to start. So my next step is to add artwork to this. And I think this is probably twice as thick as I want it, but for the moment I think I can get away with this as a template to start off, which is you have to start somewhere. So I'm going to draw a circle, which is a head, and I'm going to draw sort of a body, and I'm going this way. And we want one arm to come up here, one arm to be up here, and we want this. If you haven't guessed yet, I'm sort of drawing a cat. And I may make it a cat with glasses. I'll come in here. So I'm working out my design. This is a hand, so I kind of want to do that a little bit more accentuated. And we want sketching a little Okay, so I've sketched a cat, and cats are sort of lazy. So in a bed, cat bed, and holding a book. So Fish's tail. Little book. And then I'm just gonna lightly do this. Just page. Okay, so done a light sketch, and so on the back side of this I intend to do, let's say, let's pick out this size, and this would be a QR code. And we're going to do, oh no, and I kind of actually like, I might actually do a spiral like that, and I can do a spiral of words on the computer, and I will do business stuff in those words, as well as reading, things like that. Now, this would fold, and I actually don't mind the thickness of this as long as I can bulk up the letters. And since I'm hand lettering this, I can make them fat letters. If I keep everything sort of fat on this, that might work. So on this, you would think of it as folding. So I could put read more along that line. So those might show up depending on how many pages you're clamping. Anyway, so that gives you kind of the basic ideas of what I'm working on. So what I'm going to do next is do some more finishing here. I want to clean this up a little. And so I don't feel like I have to balance the front and the back in terms of visual weight, because you wouldn't be seeing these things together. One would be on the front of your page and the other would be behind it. So they're not in the same visual space. Okay, so now we'll work on the cat. Get that pen again. So we'll make these fatty letters. Just gonna chunk them in. You don't want to be fussy and careful. I want this to look casual. I'm going to hopefully give these away at the event in October to readers that pass by the table. And mostly what I'm trying to gain at this event is possible fans for my novels. So I want to be something memorable people have. If they take home, they can join my fan base club, things like that. And so that's what I'm aiming for. I'm not really trying to sell goods here, because I don't have, I hopefully will have my Victorian coloring book available for sale, and I may have a sketchbook for sale, and I have a chapbook that I'm going to give away to people so they can actually read, the kind of materials that I write. because a fan or a person that has read my stories is much more likely to be a fan than one that hasn't. So that's the entirety of my plan at the moment, is just to get some better experience here in a recent way. So this kind of lettering was part of sort of the psychedelic 60s. And we actually used to lean the letters onto each other. But it's an artifact lettering thing that was done on musical posters, of the era. And it was called psychedelic. But really, it's just chubby little letters that are hand lettered. They're not done by machine. And they have a more organic quality to them. A human touched this. Okay, so I've got some lettering on there. Now we're going to sort of work on the drawing. This way. Oops. Okay, So that gives me sort of a rough image. So again, I would do a simple lettering here. All right, now I'm going to draw the placement of the QR code. And that's really what I'm going to do for this for now, because I'm not really doing a finished work, but I want to start approaching the design and seeing if I like it and if it'll work. Mostly this is also a function test. I have the magnets, I have some cardstock I can print on, and I can get approximate of this if this is going to work. So the one thing else I'll do is I do want to add some color. So let's put some color in here. That will make it better. Okay. So in any project, you're starting somewhere. And you want to start in a way that is helpful. Want some color to help the illustration pop a little. And I haven't really decided what kind of kitties is going to be. I kind of like the idea of a black cat, like a tuxedo cat. So I might do that, or I might do a calico. Okay, so we did background. And dark gray. Let's see about a gray cat. Which I think is going to be a little too dark for me. I'm going to go. So I'm quite clear that I'm going to be drawing this again, because I don't really like what's happening, but that's okay. And then we're going to go along here. Let's get much lighter. starts me off. So all I'm going to do is just scan this and print it out. That's what I want to do. And see where I'm at size wise. And let me see if I can show you. Okay, so let me show you. These are ceramic magnets that would fit on the back side of both of these. So if I come down in size, maybe a third, that would probably do it. We'll see.